thought today I could talk about devotion. In my life, there was a time in my life where I was really devoted to a meditation practice. And eventually there became a time where it felt like meditation was taking more from my life than it was adding to it. And then I was missing out on my life from how much I was meditating. And there became a desire within me that what if I took the devotion I had towards this meditation practice and I applied that devotion to helping and serving those that I'm connected to, those I'm around, and then I take the words I've always wanted to hear from others. I take the level of love and connection I've always wanted to receive from others. And there became a desire within me to be, what if I was the first one to lead the way? What if the things that I feel like I'm lacking in my life, that I wish people would do more often for me, I become the first person that gives that gift more often to those I'm connected to those I'm friends with, to those that I'm in family with. And it's something I wanted to talk about today, about devotion. That we, when we start spirituality, oftentimes there's a theme that can come up of being really devoted to meditation or manifesting or clearing our energy field. And it can almost become a pattern of self-absorption when we're constantly focusing or fixing or trying to reach higher states within ourselves while ignoring certain areas of our life. And there eventually in everyone's journey comes to a point of, why don't I take this devotion that I've been giving myself and that in some ways may be helpful and in some ways may be feeding my spiritual ego or feeding my perfectionism or my pattern of trying to, or a pattern of self-absorption that's now showing up in spirituality. And why don't I apply that that level of devotion to helping and serving those around me? And if I want to get to know someone or go up and I want someone to come up and talk to me, what if I was the person that went up and talked to them and got to know them? If I want someone to ask questions about my life, what if I'm the person that asks those questions to the person I'm talking to? And if someone's not asking you questions that you would want someone to ask you, just as a little aside, you can always feed them a line and say, hey, I would love it if you asked me about this in my life. Because oftentimes people, when they're not used to being listened to, are so maybe enjoying being listened to by someone who's a good listener that they forget to ask questions of interest about the other person. So a helpful reminder sometimes can help the relationship feel a little bit more balanced. But we start as we go along our journey to say, and as we are moving along our spiritual journey of, it isn't so much about the enlightenment I cultivate within myself, but the impact I make to those around me. Because we're never going to find peace on this planet by one person just getting really peaceful, but that person taking the peace that they've then found in themselves, or even if they're having a hard time finding peace in themselves, starting to do practices that will help their community or their friends find greater peace. And it's always more powerful to do a practice as a group than it is as one person. You're going to progress way further on your spiritual journey if you help 10 people find peace within themselves by either doing Reiki with them or sound healing or whatever type of healing modality, or maybe it's just being a really good listener or a really good friend. And that people find greater peace just from how deeply you hear them and how present you are with them whenever you're connecting with them. But your your progress on, we come here to serve others. We don't come here to sit by ourselves alone, meditating or praying or clearing our energy. We don't come here just to work on ourselves. We come here to help and impact the planet. And the difference between the saints that you hear about every day and the people who are amazing meditators or incredible psychic monks, but you never hear their name mentioned, is one of that group decided to help and serve others, and another of that group continued to focus on themselves. And a great way to test this theory out is if you ever meet someone who meditates a lot or who's really into spirituality and you're having a conversation with them, you can always see how awake someone is by, do they ask you questions about you? Or do they just want to tell you about their spiritual journey? Because someone who's a truly awake, conscious being moving along their spiritual journey, and yes, the self-absorption phase and getting lost in your spiritual ego is all a part of it, and it helps you desire to help then serve others. But the people who are going to be the most enlightened, illumined beings are going to be the ones who take the greatest interest and curiosity in you. And anything you would hope that if you imagined being that person, and anything that person would imagine or hope that you would give to them, they will give to you first. If you imagined talking to someone and you think they're an illumined being, illumined beings are always serving the whole, and they give to the whole all that they would want to receive. So and you can just think about it, your own desires. What do you hope people notice in you more often? That you're intelligent, that you're beautiful, that you're kind and caring. And the most conscious beings are going to point that out in the people around them more often, because it isn't about the journey of the one becoming in alignment, but it's the journey of the collective. And we're only going to find peace by the light workers, the healers, coming out from patterns of self-absorption, patterns of hyper-focused spirituality, and starting to say, I've focused and helped myself, now can I help others? And we do not need to be perfectly healed or feel like we've resolved all our patterns to help others, but it's being honest and vulnerable of, this is where I'm at. That I still have healing to go through, I still play out patterns, I still maybe have an addictive pattern or two. For me, I check my phone way too often. But that we all, every human being on some level, we want to be seen, heard, and validated. And when we feel seen, heard, and validated, then it becomes, what else is there to life? And it's the level of impact, the level of bringing greater validation and value and love and compassion that I can bring to other people's lives. And any ascended master that you hear about along your journey is someone who left an incredible impact on the planet. That beings only ascend when they lead a legacy of love, where they've touched thousands or hundreds of thousands of hearts on their planet, and they've made an incredible impact of spreading greater peace, love, compassion to all those they know. So if you're someone who's trying to become enlightened or illuminated, can you bring greater love into all your relationships? Can you listen to people deeper? Can you be more present? Can you give people more compliments of, you are one of my favorite people to connect with. You are incredibly smart. You have so much value in my life. And we fill people's cups up, because if one person's cup gets filled, they then have more space to fill up other people's cups. And any patterns and any addictions often are built off a backbone of not feeling good about you. So if we can get everyone to feel better about themselves, there will be less and less that there needs to be healed on this planet. And it starts with one, and the one that is devoted to themselves is the one that becomes devoted to all. And there's never anything wrong with getting lost in a spiritual practice, but eventually it becomes, can I take this devotion and can I listen to people just as devotedly as I would meditate? Can I ask questions just as devotedly as I would clear my energy field? Can I give people compliments, and can I support people just as incredibly as I would try and focus on my breath as I was meditating, or whatever our practices are? And as I take greater devotion to others, I remember my true purpose on this planet. I find greater meaning in my life. And I remember that the value in my life isn't coming from my focus on myself, but it's coming from my ability to raise and help others find their greater meaning and purpose by the deep levels of love and connection I form with those people. And so, just to close it out, can we finish this talk with just a little bit of love by bringing one hand to our heart? And you'll just repeat after me. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being an incredibly beautiful person for me to get to know. Thank you for all the love you show others. Thank you for all the good intentions you have for yourself and others. Thank you for leading the way by bringing greater love to this planet. And thank you for taking the bold, courageous steps, or saying the bold and courageous words that are going to make the deepest impacts of love to those you know and to yourself. And if there isn't a lot of friends for you to say kind words to, can you start with yourself? And as you practice with yourself, you then will find more people where you can slide in a compliment here or there. So I hope that helps, and thanks for listening.